Hello there, it's Tablet Guy, and today we're back with another video where we'll be showing some of the Apple features compared to the Chinese smartwatches. I've been receiving a lot of criticism for my recent videos where I have compared some Apple watches with the Chinese watches. In fact, I have told that some of the Chinese watches are better than Apple watches. Well, I'm sorry to say, but it's actually true. Firstly, I'm not anti-Apple. I have made some videos on Apple Watch being worse than Chinese watches. And finally, Apple fanatics had the opportunity to lash out hatred at someone who speaks against their beloved Apple. Now let me tell you, not all Apple products are amazing, especially the Apple Watch. The watch operates using Apple's patented ugly black square technology. The device has been criticized for being nothing more than an overpriced second screen for the already overpriced iPhone. Only many of these critics disappeared, only to be spotted months later wearing one now gold-plated, fashion-trendy Kanye West Apple Watch that doesn't have anything new that surprised the technology lovers, yet coming from the largest tech company, telling their glazed eyes friends repeatedly about how they love Apple's integrated ecosystem and how everything just works perfectly. Okay, we get it. You're loyal. We know that love is blind, but someone will always be there to give you eyes of sight on how Apple is using their loyal blind fanatics to get their shitty and worthless products selling. I'm not anti-Apple. I love the iPad and iPhone, but I didn't like Apple copying the iPod. Revolutionize it from something that was already existing, the MP3 player. Now a very expensive Apple Watch which is totally dependent on an already expensive iPhone or iPad or whatever. I don't care, man. The watch will be totally worthless if your phone gets off. However, with just 2800 mAh mAh, it's most likely that the Apple Watch will go off first. Now when I say that it's totally dependent, it means that the watch is actually the child of the phone. So it means that it takes all the information from the phone and runs it. So it's just a mirror of what's happening on your phone. Now, why would you spend so much money on the mirror, whereas it doesn't have a feature of its own, it doesn't have a function of its own, it doesn't have a brain of its own? Now let me ask you a simple question. If Papa plays football well, would you place the money on the junior? No, you would not. That sounds retarded. So you wouldn't be surprised if Jordan's son doesn't become a star as his father was. But the Apple Watch, despite being totally dependent, would be the most expensive smartwatch, and being more expensive than most of the watches doesn't really mean that it would be better. Let's check out why should you not buy Apple Watch. So everyone has been asking me why shouldn't we buy the Apple Watch. So I've just gathered some of the reasons, and right now we'll be discussing that. So here's the first reason. It costs too much. Now the Apple Watch is so expensive that the cheapest one is $350, rising to $400 for the slightly larger 42mm model. Want a steel one with a sapphire glass? $550 and up. Stainless steel bracelet? $1,100. And that's before you can look at the edition which is aimed at the kind of people who'll be first against the wall when the revolution comes. Number 2. It has a very few faces. Android Wear is miles ahead here. The reason is obvious. Apple wants its watch faces to be mainly black to eke out every last bit of battery life. And third-party faces packed with details will have an awful effect on watch longevity. Not what you want immediately after launching your exciting product. More faces will no doubt come, but the standard selection, while good, is hardly plentiful. It's slow. Third-party apps run on the iPhone, not on the iWatch, and that means that they are often painfully slow. That, coupled with very aggressive battery management, means all too often you tap, the display goes off, you tap, the display goes off, you tap, and then you give up and pull out the iPhone. Battery life is going to be a problem. Apps don't currently run on the watch, but next iteration of the developer kit will charge that. If you think the battery life isn't great now, Think about it, the Apple Watch is only having 280 mAh, whereas a normal Chinese watch will be having around 450 mAh. That itself describes how bad the Apple Watch is compared to the Chinese watches. Another factor is the straps are stupidly expensive. That will all change. There's a made for Apple Watch program coming. But right now a simple leather strap is around $150 and a stainless steel one is $550. Sure, they're handmade by angels or whatever, but that's still silly money for the straps. It is so fashionable, unbelievable. So much that you will melt in the mouth, not in the hand. Apple has been doing a very non-Apple thing and sucking up to the celebrities to get the watch in the fashion pages. Do you want to have the same kind of watch as Karl Lagerfeld or Kanye West? Who cares? Who cares about who's wearing the watch? But main thing is, as a tech company, you should promote the watch being technically sophisticated enough. But that's not the current focus of Apple. Another feature of the Apple Watch is it doesn't have the GPS. Well, who cares about the GPS? It's just that the phone handles that. And a movement tracking the watch does without its guessing. And if you lose it, you will not be able to find it using Find My Phone style apps to locate it. And my friends, the most important feature, it doesn't work with Android. Not a surprise, we know, but Apple is no longer an anti-Android. Its refreshed Apple Music service is expected to get an Android app this summer. A big part of the iPod success was due to the Apple making it work with Windows. Could the Apple Watch app end up with Android? Stranger things have happened. And then we have the feature which is no SIM card for call or connectivity. Now the Apple Watch is so dependent on iPhone that even if it wants to move or wants to make any kind of connection to the outside world, it relies on the iPhone. So if your iPhone is somewhat dead and you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, the Apple Watch is not going to help you. It's not going to make that 911 call. So be ready, folks. Be ready for it all. So what do you think, guys? Has Apple Watch changed the game, or has it made a nice bubble for people with more money than sense? It's up to you to decide. If you're rich and you don't care about money, shows you time, buy a Casio. It will be much more user friendly, app friendly than an Apple Watch. Alright guys, that's it for today. Hope you liked the video. If you did, just hit the like button. And don't forget to put your comments below. And the most important thing is subscribe. Hit the subscribe button so you would know about the new smartwatches and the old ones and the ones that are in concept. So guys, take care. Bye.